All right, welcome back to the channel. This week I wanted to get some art styles that grab the essence of summer. I know we're in August and summer is winding down. Geez, some kids have even gone back to school. Sorry about that, kids. Anyway, I got some great styles, and at the end, I've got a kind of new thing that I want to try out with a little bit more of a complex prompt that we could play with that really grabs the essence of summer. All right, let's get into it. Oh. All right, let's get into it. Our first art style that we're going to talk about is California Impressionism, and also known as Californian plein air. Plein air refers to the French, it's French word, open air. So this is where people go out into locations and paint from real life landscapes. They're not painting from photographs or anything like that. They're not in their studio. It's not imagination. They are on location, painting in real time. This movement emerged in the late 19th and early 20th century and focuses on the outdoor scenes with bright sunlight. The works like Guy Rose and William Wendt often depict the natural beauty of California landscapes, beaches, gardens, and it evokes sunny and relaxed atmosphere, just like California, dude. All right, let's get into it. Typically, these are not designed to have subjects like people and things like we test our prompts on, but this is where Midjourney gets fun because we're mixing two things that haven't been together. I'm sure they have been together, but anyway, here we go. Here is a woman in Californian Impressionism. I mean, look at this. Where's my clicker? Here we go. All right. So we've got bright sunlight. That's very common. Very light and light feeling and sun and it's beautiful. The composition here I really love. Midjourney's coming with this. We have these darker tones of the tree on the right, and we have this darker tones of the building or architecture on the left. And where the bright sunlight really overexposes the background in the center is where Midjourney places our subject. And that's really cool. If you wanted to shoot something like this is what you would go for. Very, very cool. Woman in California Impressionism. Here's a man, this is California Impressionism is supposed to be bright, midday light, but this works too. This is your golden hour, and California is known for its sunsets and its golden sunsets. This really and it's very impressionistic and gestural. I love this. This is a very cool scene, and really it evokes a vintage feel to it too. I guess because he's wearing the hat, which isn't in style anymore, but definitely an excellent look here. A burger caught out in the wild. Yeah, I'm hungry. Anyway, that looks more like a fried egg sandwich to me, but it's breakfast time here, so could be me. Anyway, you see the bold strokes and gestural movement that Midjourney is doing, and yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's pretty simple. The burgers have been coming back simple from Midjourney, so they're a little rare. But look at that, a motorcycle, that's cool. Very impressionistic. We get the sense of speed with it. Again, like this isn't a subject matter that a plein air painter would go for, but boy, does that style work really cool with this subject. Now, this is a forest. Exactly what a plein air painter or a California Impressionist would go for. And these do evoke like the larger pines, the sequoias and, redwoods and stuff there's a great sense of scale here. And a tree, California desert. Look at that. Great color contrast between the bright blue sky, the harsh shadowing underneath the tree, and, the orange foliage in it. Very interesting, very beautiful, and, California does have deserts, so that definitely gives the feeling of a Californian impressionist, the octopus. This one's really interesting to me because I love the octopus. I love the gestural movement of him. And we seem to see this look in a lot of styles with the octopus. But the interesting thing is there's almost this geometric encapsulation, the way the lines of the water are rendered here, kind of coming in. I found that really interesting. It gave this feeling of a geometric enclosure that the octopus is in, and it's subtle but very interesting to me. I haven't seen that before, but great impressionistic brush strokes and gestural feel to this. And the house, this is very typical of what I would expect from plein air. Very beautiful, great lighting, great, soft light on the clouds, but a little bit harsher on our subject here. And it kind of gets looser as it goes out from the subject, the gestural feel to it. But beautiful stuff here. Midjourney does a great job, and it grabs the California architecture too. All right. That is California Impressionism. All right, the next style I picked was color field painting. And the reason this kind of sparks the feeling of summer for me is the bold colors that it uses. Color field painting is a prominent abstract art style that happened in the mid-20th century, mostly in America. It focuses on large expanses or fields of vibrant solid colors that are applied onto the canvas. The style emphasizes the interaction of the colors and their effect on the viewer's emotion or the viewer's emotional response, rather than depicting recognizable objects or scenes. Of course, we're putting subjects into this, so we are going to have recognizable scenes, but it's how that blends with the styles that we're putting in there. So it's kind of like, in a way, we're by putting distinct subjects in, we're forcing a new style out of Midjourney. All right, here is a woman. Let me click in here. Here's a woman in color field painting. Look at that. You can just see these bold colors. These orange to yellows in the background, color contrasting with the blue of the skin tone. Big expanses of color that are like their relationship is what we're thinking about here and what Midjourney's doing. And you got this green that goes through there. Just fantastic use of color contrast and making the pop happen. Here's a man. All right. And, it's interesting because I kept getting images of almost somebody looking into these. And, I think it's because it has such a strong sense of the viewer's reaction. That's what color field painting is all about, is their feel and what emotion, these very simple, basic color combinations are coming up with. So here's a man in the style of color field painting, a burger. All right, this is interesting. We see it's taken the color fields in the back and almost given us a full spectrum, from magenta to orange and everything in between, but it's done it in a polygonal style, very modern style. But it's also, it's taking these color fields and representing it in a different way. Interesting. I mean, once again, I don't see a burger. I see a fried egg sandwich. That's what I see. Sorry, I'm hungry. I'm gonna have some coffee. All right. Here is a motorcycle. Jeez, I really need some coffee. And color field painting. So we really get that background of the color field. And then it represents the motorcycle in almost this wood block print on top of it, or this screen print on top of this painting. There's hard contrast on top of this blending that's happening in the back, but it also inherits the light, and it also deals with the color contrast. I mean, very cool. You can create some really unique looks by doing your homework and looking into, art history and seeing, digging up these styles and seeing how Midjourney interprets them and places contrasting subjects into it. Oh, that's beautiful. That is the forest. And, now we kind of see our color blocking going up. It's a little bit more blended, color field painting a lot of times was harsh lines between the color. It didn't always have to be, but that's what we think of. This is well blended. We can see orange to the teals, but we have a subject that's represented within it. A tree, same thing. We're going orange to gray blues up at the top, and it's interesting how it's able to contrast the leaves. It knows to put the bluer sky behind the orange leaves so that they don't blend into the yellow sky. Very cool. Very cool. And the octopus, look at him. He looks like he's made out of paint. It's just wild. We get a full spectrum of pastel colors in here, but very dynamic shapes, and it's beautiful and rendered with this kind of plasticky, Pixar-y 3D rendering thing, and it's just beautiful. It's stunning. We see where the color blocking is coming from, but it's not it's far from color blocking. I keep calling it color blocking, not color blocking. Color field. It's taking all the colors, but it's putting it onto the object, and that is very cool. Not what I expected at all, and that's why I included it. This is what I would expect. This is traditional, and this is a house in color field painting, and this is exactly, the blocked off colors, very distinct in their location, in their containment. We got the black, the orange, the yellow, the blue, how they're working together, how that makes you feel. And it's very simplified, but it's making your brain think about what that is and what time it is and what atmosphere it's in. That is very well done. That's it. All right. That is color field painting. All right. Our next summer style, and this isn't necessary summer. It just hit me. I don't watch the news a lot, not for reasons that you would think. It doesn't make me feel good, so I don't watch it. Anyway, I was watching it the other day, and of course, this summer, it's very prominent that we're seeing courtroom depictions. And I was like, wow, I wonder what Midjourney would do with courtroom sketching. So I love it because it's very gestural, and it needs to capture in the moment activities and get the emotion across, and also tell the story, and convey the emotion of the subject and the feel of the courtroom. So I put in courtroom sketching, or it might be courtroom sketches. I'll make sure it's going to be up here. Anyway, here is a woman in the style of courtroom sketches, and look at that. It's watercolor sketching, gestural. I love it. It's a little bit more detailed than what we would think that we would see in a courtroom, but very cool. I got to click in here. Where's my cursor? Okay. Here's a woman in courtroom sketches. Here's a man. Yeah, look at how gestural that is, and how it's very minimalist as far as the coloring, and it's really letting the white of the paper tell the story, and that's how efficient you have to be if you're in one of these situations, sketching and telling the story of what's going on in the courtroom. I think this was amazing. The burger. Yep, America, we're putting burgers on trial. They're not good for you, but they're delicious. Anyway, this one looks like a burger. Looks like you're getting a shot with it. That's probably a shot of scotch. Maybe I'm just forcing that imagery on you. Anyway, exactly how I would think it, very loose. But again, you can use this style with a client, and, you want to do an ad campaign that's just very loose and sketchy, and it has some modern punch to it. Yeah, that's a burger in the style of courtroom sketching. A motorcycle. Look at that. Put the motorcycle in the courtroom. But I could see myself in there fighting a ticket and judge, this is the motorcycle that pulled me over. Anyway, very loose, very cool, it still obeys the laws of perspective. And I think I really love sketching. I love sketching. I love the look of sketching, because it is just loose, and it's almost like if you can get an idea across and a feeling across in a very loose gestural way, it's more impactful than having a meticulously rendered image sometimes. Here's a forest, and it's gestural. It's, it's weird because now we're forcing, typically, of course, courtroom sketching is done inside, so this is something outside, but it's giving that gestural feel to these outside, or this landscape subject matter. A tree. That is so cool. I love these tight, like, get in here. You have curves that end in these sharp angles. It's like curve to curve to curve. And that gives just such a cool aged feel to this tree. I love that look. So you get these nice gestural curves, but they're connected by sharp angles. And then very loose with the foliage. But tighter with the bench down here and the look, and that's just cool. And it gives it also, to me, I get a feeling of atmosphere to it too. It's very soft lighting, maybe a cold, foggy, not cold, but maybe a foggy morning. But I think that's a very cool rendering. And I also like when there's construction lines left in, and you can see like Midjourney's like, oh, I think this is how we figure out a drawing, and it leaves the construction lines in. They're not like erased and taken out. This might be my favorite octopus of all time. Look at that. That is awesome. That is a lawyer octopus, and he is angry, and he's gonna tell you how it is, and I object. And all the tentacles come flying and crazy. But look at how gestural that is, and I would not have imagined an octopus in a suit. Like, that is just so cool. Come on, Midjourney. Thumbs up. I love it. I love that. That is my favorite octopus to date as far as doing these styles. But yeah, there's in Courtroom Sketching. And, this is a house. Interesting because the house actually looks like a courthouse. But I guess, Midjourney interprets, sometimes your style as your subject, and that's what we're getting. But very loose. I love it. Again, we're using the white of the paper just like a watercolorist would. We got a lot of construction lines, a lot of loose sketching on top of these more on top of our watercolor feel or medium. But there's a house. All right, there we go. I hope you enjoyed that one, because I did. All right, this next section is something I'm playing with. I'm adding a little bit. You guys tell me if you like it or not. And it's a little bit more of a complex prompt. And really what I want to go over is the importance of experimenting with Midjourney. And sometimes I forget about these different commands that Midjourney offers. So what I was doing was I put a very simple image. Let me put this a better way. Okay, I used the describe command and threw in a very simple image of a catalog bathing suit model. And I was like, I wonder what Midjourney sees in this and what it describes. And it created this prompt that was really interesting to me, and that I wanted to dig in a little deeper, because it's creating a look that you don't often see in Midjourney. So I'm going to put the prompt somewhere in here, and we'll take a look at it, but I'll read it out. And the prompt is, the woman in a pink bathing suit is posing in the style of light magenta and light black, bright, bold colors, frontal perspective, flattering lighting, playful details, dull core. I don't know what that is. Simplified colors. And then it gives an aspect ratio of 51:64, and yeah, it was that was the command. And so anyway, let's go through that. So look at the imagery I got from this. It gives this for this one. I've got. Let's pick this apart. We kind of got this vectory feel to it. It's vectory, but airbrushed, so it's not harsh lines, at least on this. And I think that's coming from, probably dull core, simplified colors. That could be giving this look. flattering lighting. No, that's probably giving the softer skin gradients, bold colors. I think that's all giving that vector look. This is so woman in a pink bathing suit, obviously. I think the core to that, though, is it says posing, and I never use that word. So in these images that I'm going to share with you, we get these very dynamic poses. You know, it's when you see them in magazines and catalogs, we accept that as kind of a normal thing. So with photography, you can go very extreme with your posing, but then it's dialed back when you see it in an image that's smaller. But I can see, like this image right here, like hips are thrown way out, arms out. You know, they're creating this gap between the arm and the torso so that it makes the torso look skinnier. These are all posing techniques, but I never thought of using the word posing, and I thought that was just really interesting. Let's look at some other ones. Here's another one. This is the same prompt. I kept running it, and again, like this one. So frontal perspective. I think. Look at this extreme perspective. You would be shooting. Like she would be standing here, a photographer be way down here. So many times with Midjourney, I get this just direct, no matter what I say, where I'm not able to move the angle of perspective this dramatically. So adding frontal perspective really just creates this super dynamic imagery and foreshortening. You know, because her legs are closer, and then it kind of goes up into our perspective lines away from her. Let's look at another one. Here's another one. Same thing. This is more drastic with I think it's dull core that's causing this in this very vectored look where the colors are not blending together, but they're used in conjuncture next to each other. So you get these hard gradient fall-offs, almost a posturized look. That's the word I'm looking for. Very cool, very summery. I want to keep going back to that. Flattering lighting, you know, very soft lighting, and you see the underlighting of the chin. You do that so you don't get the harsh shadows. Otherwise, you can get this like really dark look. She's wearing sunglasses, so you can't see the what we call raccoon eyes, where it gets very dark shadows underneath. But the lighting under the chin, you know, that would be done in real life. As a photographer, you would put a reflector under there, and it would lighten it up. And it's a flattering lighting. That's what it is. Here's another one. Look at the extreme perspective on that. You know, just we're shooting directly up underneath her, and you know, I've had such a hard time, you know, getting these perspectives out of Midjourney. I just want to convey, it's really important when you see an image that you really like throw it into Midjourney, have Midjourney describe it, and see where it takes you. Don't try to duplicate the image. See where it takes you, because these are nothing like what I put in. So I just, I think it's fascinating, like how it interprets it and where that tangent takes you. Here's another one, the extreme, you know, it's the posing word right here. You know, she is so contorted, but it doesn't look like she would be so uncomfortable in real life if she was walking around with her hip like up like that and her back torn. But in a photograph, it doesn't look that way, and you combine that with the extreme low angle that we're shooting up, and you get just this sense of form right around her back here, it's just amazing. Like again, the source image was nothing like this, and then flattering lighting. We can see the underlighting on the chin and the fill lighting on her other chin, rather than this harsh summer sun. But we still get the essence of a summer look here. Maybe it's because they're in bathing suits. That could be it. Another one. There's the posing. It's very distinct, very model-esque. And again, we're getting this great summer feel to it. I can't say enough. It's chins up, you know, it's lots of fill light. Fantastic stuff. Okay, so this one, I changed the frontal perspective to back perspective. And look, I still got a dramatic perspective, but it was from the reverse. I thought that was really interesting how you can just slowly start tweaking this stuff and start manipulating it into your work. This one, oh my gosh, I forgot. I got to look up the command. I'll put it in here, what it was. Obviously, I took out bathing suit and to see what it came out with. Oh, because I was testing the posing. And look at that. Yes, I mean, nobody would stand like that unless you were posing for a photograph. And, you know, shoulders are narrowed because we're tilting them one away from the camera, one towards the camera, and then counterposing our hips. So it thins out the waist area. And then, you know, hands in the pocket actually will make your waist look thinner because now you have a little bit wider. But again, it's, I think, discovering that the word posing has such an impact on these Midjourney renders is fascinating to me. And I put a couple in there. How cool is that? I mean, hey, there's an ad for Caribbean cruises of some cruise line. I won't say which. Could be a cruise line. And it's very interesting that it gives this feeling of a 1950s vibe. And that's probably coming from the modest bathing suits that both of them are wearing. But very cool how you have this just harsh light from the top, but we're still getting fill light in here. Phil, he's your buddy. But we're getting fill light, so it's obviously replicating bounce light. Beautiful. I think this is, oh, and it's an extreme pose again. And, you know, you want to make a model's legs look long, shoot low and up, and that's what we're getting here. And it's replicated the perspective of this perfectly. So we're getting that frontal perspective with a couple, and that's it. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I thought it was pretty cool. Awesome. So that here again, I gave you the whole prompt, and the key to it is go experiment with describe, because you can learn a lot from it. All right. Thank you so much for spending time with me this week. I hope that you guys are having a great summer, and I hope you ride out the rest of the summer, you know, having a great time, watching a little less YouTube. Just watch my stuff. Anyway, thanks for joining me. If you could like this video, that would be really cool. If you could comment, I love having conversations about this stuff. And I think with our more complex prompt, little additive at the end, you know, we could have some great conversation. Join me on Discord. I'll put the link in the description, and subscribe to the channel. Hey, join the group. We're having a great time here. That's it. Until next week. All right.